We know it's about connecting people with other
Once we
people,
know
with
what
content,
kind
with
of
ideas, with
inequalities our
experiences.
students are
and that it's not
facing,
just
we can start trying to
Our
address them, right?
combination of resources and wonderful team we have, we're the best in the world.
Good morning, and may the fourth be with you as we connect, learn, and grow together on the light side of the force. And if you've somehow managed to escape knowing a cultural reference of more than 40 years and across more than a dozen Star Wars films, I'm hopeful you've used your time and energy in positive and significant ways. Kidding aside, I appreciate you joining us today and celebrating our colleagues who will be sharing their talents and expertise with us. I'd also like to take a moment and celebrate you and thank you for taking the time to invest in professional learning for yourself and our broader higher education community. The work you do to create impactful experiences for our students motivates my team and me on a daily basis. I'm Rob Griffiths, Ohio State's Chief Digital Learning Officer, and I work in the Office of Technology and Digital Innovation, known locally as OTDI, but many of you may now know me better as your friend who was given the honor and opportunity to welcome you to this year's Innovate conference, a signature event hosted by OTDI that is the realization of the time, energy, and passion of so many of my colleagues who have created this experience for us. I'd like to take a moment and share a special thanks and appreciation to Queenie Chow, Sam Craighead, Hillary Lorton, Amber Sherman, Adam Ziada, Justin Troyer, and Sherry Beck. Seriously, thank you. Preparing for today took a tremendous effort. Also, a virtual applause to our proposal review committee who helped shape the agenda for our day. You know, I've been with Ohio State coming up on 20 years now, and although the pandemic has really messed with the concept of time, it does feel like just yesterday, my colleagues and I were sitting around a small conference room in the original Digital Union space, which is now named the 18th Avenue Library and where the Research Common now sits, dreaming of a day where our amazing instructors, staff, and students and colleagues around our community could gather, discuss, and advance the intersection of education and technology. That was 12 years ago. And the connection between education and technology has only strengthened and accelerated. Our first conference in 2010 was named Innovate, e-learning in action. Although at the time, it kind of felt like we needed to pronounce it Innovate, e-learning in action, like no action at all. The centering topic of that first event was, what is e-learning? We were just starting our university's journey from a place of curiosity. I am so excited about this year's theme of Connect because it's emblematic of the transformation we've undergone locally and globally to strengthen community and education. It resonates in ways that feel impactful, relatable, personal. Remember the term social distancing? Right. However, even early on, we intuitively knew for our own well-being and emotional and mental health, we needed anything but being distant socially. Physically separated, yes, but socially, we needed to meaningfully engage. So many of us experienced long stretches of physical isolation where we leaned on technology's affordances and how it created opportunities for human connection. For some of us, we've known this potential for a while, and it was a natural transition. For others, we now associate use of communication technology within the context of an emergency, remote, isolation period of our lives, and don't see how it fits as we increasingly transition back to connecting in person. We are together today as an example for just how far we've advanced in understanding technology as a shared space for ideas, to inspire one another. And this is just a moment in time knowing around the corner are technological advancements that will allow us to immerse ourselves in an augmented and blended physical and digital world through ubiquitous cellular broadband and wearable technology. So, although technology has been a critical medium to support human connection the past few years, as we evolve through releveling our values and expectations for how we engage with one another, we must be mindful and intentional for how to most meaningfully connect with each other, with our experiences, with our community. We must reimagine what's uniquely possible when leveraging physical and digital realms to create space, inspire and influence one another, and imagine ourselves as the model 21st century land-grant institution. This is not an either-or proposition, but rather a blended, integrated, and hybrid university future. Throughout today's conference and in the coming days, weeks, and months, I hope you'll be thinking about how we use the power of our teaching and learning community to engage in the difficult questions and in the thoughtful conversations about the future of learning. I hope you intend to think about where, when, and how technology adds to or limits the type of connections meaningful to our learners in their lifelong journey with our university. Who are our learners? What are their values and expectations? And how do we leverage our resources to reduce the barriers to connect? It is now my pleasure to turn things over to Ohio State Vice President and Chief Information Officer Cindy Levitt to share her thoughts before we officially kick off the day. Cindy?
Thanks so much, Rob. And good morning to all of you. I am delighted to be here with all of you today for my first Innovate conference. I am passionate about unleashing the potential of every person and know that combining education with technology is a powerful way to do that. The main reason that I applied to the Ohio State CIO job was because distance education and e-learning were under the CIO, which is unique. I tentatively came to campus last June wondering if Ohio State was a place for me, especially as a graduate from that school up north. My interview with Rob and the rest of the OD leadership team convinced me that Ohio State was a place that I wanted to be. Their energy, passion, and excitement were contagious. They talked about the incredible experience in shifting fully online at the beginning of the pandemic and how they knew in the moment that they were part of something important. They also reflected what they learned from the experience, and what they learned from the experience was that the Ohio State community can do hard things and do them quickly when everyone is connected and working together toward common goals. So here we are today in our second year of a virtual Innovate conference to talk about how we can leverage technology to connect deeply with each other and deeply with our students. As we start this conference, I would like to take a few moments to invite each of you to reflect about how you made meaningful connections using technology over the past 2 years. Please use the chat to share your reflections and answer this question. What is the deepest connection you made using technology during the pandemic?
I love this question, Cindy. These are such good responses.
You're amazing, right? And so I'm sitting here listening to and really looking at how much of this is about personal connections, right? And family and the holidays, but really these deep connections that were afforded because we could connect and we had the technology available for us to do that. So for me, the deepest connection was also with a family one. When my siblings' reunion, which was canceled in March of 2020, we started a book club and have a meeting monthly for over 2 years now. We've used books to really explore our experiences, our shared experiences, and also to bridge our gaps, which in the political and religious areas. The discussions were not always comfortable or easy, but we kept going because we cared so much about each other. So I think this shows that technology it can help us create these really deep and meaningful connections. And it's exciting as we look for how we can use it and how we can explore how we've done that in the classroom and in educational settings as we go forward. So going on, I just wanted to let all of you know that last January, we combined OCIO and ODE to create the Office of Technology and Digital Innovations. Would you mind flipping? So this wonderful decal was created by Grace Tay, a member of our mobile development team. Our new name, the Office of Technology and Digital Innovation, describes both our past and our hope for the future. We are here today to build on our long partnerships, to innovate, and to co-create the future together. I can't wait to hear your bold ideas and look forward to connecting with you today and in the coming months and years. At the end of the day, we'll all be receiving a survey, and there's a space for you to share your thoughts. We want to hear from you. It is now time to kick off our conference. And for that, I will turn things over to our standing conference chair, Queenie Chow.
Hi there. Thanks, Cindy. Good morning, everyone. I am extremely excited to see all of the comments that you left in the chat. You have no idea how happy that makes me to see you all here. I've got a few notes to share as your conference chair here. Got a few notes to share, so this is a good time to grab a pen or open up a document. I'm stalling to give you a moment to do that. So today is the very end of finals week for many of us here at Ohio State, on top of so much going on everywhere. So let's take a moment to make a little space on your desk, in your mind, to focus on just what we can accomplish here today. So here's what you can expect in our next several hours together. I'll touch on the schedule, how to get help, and what to focus on. So first off, there are 3 separate time slots with 4 different sessions to choose from. You can see the schedule from our website, but check your registration email to get the actual Zoom room session links. After the breakout sessions, Rob and I will meet you right back here in this webinar room for a closing reflection designed to help you figure out next steps. If you need any help between breakout 1 and the closing, again, just come back to this webinar room where staff will be standing by to answer your questions. Or you can email innovateu@osu.edu. So both channels work, whichever works best for you at the time. So let's bring our attention back to the theme here. So our theme this year is Connect. As you attend the sessions, I want you to think about these 4 major ways to connect. So number 1, connect with your students. What strategies or tools can you use to do that? Number 2, connect with your peers. In what ways can you collaborate more and better? Number 3, connect with yourself. What practices or resources can you use to support your own personal well-being? And then number 4, connect with the community. And by that, we mean, in what ways do you hope to make an impact beyond the classroom, to be more inclusive, more engaged, to build a better future? So those are just 4 ways that we have thought about the theme of Connect and that we think will be helpful for you to look, as you experience the content, to think about that, answers about that for yourself. So one more bonus I'll throw in there is, how can you use this conference as an opportunity to connect? So like I said, I was very happy to see that there's so much great chat interaction there. And we have a lot of names there. Some of you probably already have worked together or know each other. Some of you might not. But this could be a way, if you see a comment that resonates with you, to reach out to a fellow participant and make a connection. Use this conference as that place for you to do that. So in closing, thanks again to Rob and Cindy for kicking things off today and for continuing to support events like this that bring our community together. I'm Queenie Chow, your conference chair. Welcome to Innovate Connect. Thank you, and we'll see you in Breakout 1.